What is going on, everyone? 𝗏𝗏 here, and let me tell you, we have an interesting video today. It's gonna be my first ever patch notes videos, basically. It's a Q&A for developers, what they plan on doing in the future. Number 10. So, if you're doing up and enjoying this, hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and also leave a comment down below what you think of this video and the answers they gave. Alright, lords and ladies, hi everybody. Welcome to another developer Q&A. We've made a number of changes, targeting in-game issues, and as always, providing more exciting player experience is at the heart of everything we do. This developer Q&A, we'd like to explore some of the recent hot topics in the community and share our plans for addressing them. Alrighty. Question 1. Some players have been using plugins to gain an unfair advantage, aka multi-boxing. Will you be improving the anti-cheat measures to implement more long-term bans? Answer. Firstly, we would like to take this opportunity to reiterate our zero tolerance policy towards cheating. Any reports of cheating we receive are immediately investigated, and we are working hard to optimize our anti-cheat systems. At the moment, we are examining the relevant data to confirm the names of the players suspected of using plugins, which the main suspects are 𝗏𝗏 and the one alliance that keeps coming up. I think it's NA or NTS. It's N something. I'm sorry if I just named your alliance and it wasn't you. Any reports of cheating we receive are immediately investigated, and we are working hard to optimize our anti-cheat systems. I already read that. At the moment, we are examining the relevant data to confirm the names of players suspected of using plugins. Players who are found to have violated game rules will be subject to bans of 1 to 360 days. So basically, if you are a suspect, they'll ban you for 1 day. If you check out in 1 day, you'll get unbanned. If you keep getting reported, it'll be a 3-day. You know, it just goes up the more times you get reported. And if it's clear that you are cheating. We appreciate your patience, and while this process is carried out and we call on all players to join us, is ensuring a safe, a fair gaming environment. I slaughtered that line. I'm so sorry. Thank you for understanding and support. Next question. Can you change the alliance membership limits to make memberships numbers more stable? Answer. We understand that some players would like Home Realm Alliance's membership limits to be increased, as they enjoy numerous alliance membership bonuses during KVK that are lost upon returning to their home realm. In response to this, we are planning to make changes to Home Realm Alliance membership limit bonuses in update 1.30, but not the upcoming update 1.29. Bummer. These changes will include decreasing the number of alliance towers needed to increase your membership limit, and increasing the membership bonuses received from occupying behemoth layers. As a result, the maximum alliance membership limit available in Season 1 will be retained in the future seasons. We hope that these changes will make alliance memberships numbers more stable. Okay, I mean, it's not happening in this patch, next patch, so bummer. Next question, will you reduce the duration of pre-war period in home realms before the entering season of Strife so that we can enter the new season more quickly? Their answer is, thank you for your suggestion. We understand that players are excited to enter the new season as soon as possible. In order to quicken the pace of the game, we will be reducing the duration of the pre-war period as much as possible. I see this as being bad only for the low to mid spenders and also free-to-play players, because obviously you need time to heal if you were in massive wars. And again, this is probably a very small variety of people who have to deal with that, so I could be wrong about that. It might be fine how it is just now. Since some seasons require players to wait enough until servers are available to begin matchmaking, the exact duration of this period may vary. We will continue to gather opinions and make our final decision based on your feedback. Please keep an eye out for future announcements. Okay. Next question. The 30-to-1 exchange ratio for legendary hero tokens is too high. Will you reduce it? We understand that the current UI of the legendary hero token store may have led to misunderstandings. Each legendary hero token can in fact be exchanged for 100 hero coins, resulting in exchange of ratio of 4:1. This display issue was the result of a design oversight that we are planning to fix in update 10.130, allowing our information to be more accurately displayed. Thank you for your patience and support, and please watch out for future updates. Okay. So they're going to fix that pretty soon. The chances of receiving artifacts from Forge Lights is too low, and this I can agree to, and I think it is way too overpriced. I think, in my humble opinion, Forge Lights should only cost about $300 to max out, because I'm going to be honest, telling your players you need to spend $1,000 for every Pitty to max it out is kind of insane. I won't lie, it's insane. Their answer to this is, though, we would like to assure that we have never made an unannounced reduction to in-game probabilities. We believe the perception of a reduction is probably stems from the fact that the chance of receiving your selected artifact is now displayed at 0.6. When previously the boosted probability of receiving both artifacts was displayed at 0.9%. We'd like to make a moment to explain these figures. When the probability of receiving both artifacts is boosted, the probability of receiving one artifact on its own is 0.45% chance. That is 0.9 divided by 2. So basically half of it. That's why when they swapped to 1, it went to 9 instead of 0.45. Which is a notably higher chance. However, we will admit that the lack of clarity in explaining these probabilities have led to misunderstandings. We plan to make changes to this display to the display of the next UI update in order to ensure that information regarding probabilities is clear and easy to understand. Cool, I guess, but I feel like the main problem is the pricing of 𝗏𝗏. I feel like if you reduce the pricing of 𝗏𝗏, all that problems goes away. You tell me $300 to max out an artifact, fine, I'll maybe do it. But $200 plus tax to get a level 1 at Pitty? Come on now. Come on now. Next question. Will you be rolling out auto peacekeeping across all servers? During the previous testing phase, we discovered a number of issues that we are currently working hard to fix. We have not made a decision regarding the rollout dates or method, but as soon as the necessary changes have been made, we will roll out this feature as soon as possible. Please keep an eye out for future announcements. Next question. Will you make it possible for all Warband members to take part in ancestor statues activities rather than linking them to behemoth layer occupation? Answer. We are planning to make changes to relevant rules in order to allow more Warband members to take part in ancestor statues activities. Warband members will be able to move through all ally occupied passes without having to occupy behemoth layers. Cool. We will let you know more. We will let you know more as soon as we have rollout date for the planned changes. And that's kind of cool, I guess. But next question: will you introduce minimum guarantee system for obtaining WarPets with the maximum number of skill slots available? This is very needed because I kid you not, I've spent probably 1,000 potions on my Nightrock, 1,000 plus, probably 2,000 at this point, on my Nightrock, and I have still not received max skill slots. I am missing 1 skill slot. That is insane. Their answer to this is, we received a number of suggestions regarding WarPet regeneration guarantees, and we believe that this is an avenue worth exploring. Thank God. Making this change would increase the chance of satisfactory outcomes from WarPets. Very true. Regeneration. We will continue the investigation of number of possible solutions while ensuring that this change does not affect in-game balance. It would not. It would only improve it. I promise you. It would only improve it. Please look out for future announcements because I'll explain why I'd improve it. Because no matter what, spenders will get it. If they want to spend, they can spend as much money as they want. They'll get it eventually. Just how it works. And making it so that low and free-to-play spenders can actually get these pets now is amazing. You obviously want to spoil the big spenders, but you don't want to make the free-to-play spenders suffer to the point where they just quit. They're done. So this is a good change that they actually do it. It's a whole community good change. Next question. Will you add a countdown time feature to alliance markers? That's very smart. Because I see a lot of markers that are up for days on days on days that are irrelevant. We received a number of suggestions from players indicating the desire for some kind of alliance marker reminder feature. As a result, we are planning to add a brand new feature, the Alliance Calendar. The Alliance Calendar will allow players to add reminders for upcoming Alliance activities in advance. It will also be linked to the Alliance marker system, allowing players to enable notifications and receive reminders before activities begin. We hope these changes will help players to more efficiently manage their alliances, activities, and tasks. Please stay tuned for future announcements. So what they're saying is like a Discord announcement. This is an amazing change. This is a huge change if they actually do it. This will make it to where you don't actually need Discord. Now, was Discord helpful in many other ways? Absolutely. But the more features they take from Discord and put it into the game, the better. Because yes, there are people who don't have Discord. There's people who don't like Discord and just want to play the game. Adding this is an amazing feature. This is the W future. Now, it needs to be added soon and not 5 months later. because that's not gonna, I'm gonna be really disappointed if that's the case. Now, this is a very important question that determines whether Spring Wardens are good or bad. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'll make it the news I want to hear, and it's not gonna surprise me when I don't hear it. Riders are too weak, with short range, weak attacks, and poor skills, compared to the other faction units. Will you change them to melee units to match our other factions? The answer is, we've received a lot of feedback regarding Riders, and we will be making improvements to them as a result. Our goal is to make sure that all units have their uses on the battlefield, while retaining balance between factions. We are currently evaluating the possibility of changing Riders to melee units, and the impact this could potentially have on game balance. We will let you know more as soon as we have a clear plan. Okay, so I'm going to be brutally honest. The problem is not that the calves for Spring Wardens are ranged. The real problem is that the calves, flying unit calves for Spring Wardens, have lost their identity. The whole purpose of Spring Warden calves before were to fly over barricades. And if you guys remember barricades, you remember how annoying they were for ground troops, and only flying units could go over them. Now, the reason barricades played such a huge impact on how good flyers were was because flyers could obviously fly over the barricades. And what does that mean? If people were playing on, if the allies or the people who own the barricades were basically hopping between the barricades, like they were getting in them and then running out as soon as you chased them down, the cav flyers could avoid the whole barricade thing and punish the ranged units that were I would say abusing, but they weren't really abusing barricades because they were just using them. Basically, people playing behind barricades. That was the whole point of Spring Warden calves. Now, when they added turrets, it completely nerfed the calves for Spring Wardens. Like, the fact you would still use Spring Warden calves when turrets were around was insane. It was hilarious. The only time flying calves were good then at that point were if you were to catch someone straggling behind in a group, which is very minimal fun. It's not really fun. If your whole faction can only be used to kill stragglers, that doesn't sound like a fun faction or a balanced faction. It sounds like an unbalanced faction in a bad way, not in a good way. Because if you're only getting murds from people who are AFK walking, that's not really a good war faction. Let's be real, it's not. Every faction can do that, but the Spring Wardens does it slightly better. That is terrible. And what I was thinking they should do is completely scrap the flying calves. It was a cool thing when they had barricades. It was a terrible thing when they added turrets. And it's even worse now because flyers kind of lost their identity when it comes to why they were flyers in the first place, which was because of barricades. It's why they were flyers. I'm sorry. You can sit here and say, well, they're also flyers that can go over mountains. You know how very niche that is? Like, it's like, if you're having to go over mountains to fight every time, your faction's not that good. Just being honest, it's really not that good. That means it's only good when the advantage is it's fighting a melee unit. Because if it's fighting a mage and you're on a mountain, it's probably going to be a 50-50 duel anyways. So here's what I would say. Give the Spring Wardens flying archers. Because I understood when there was barricades why they had flying calves. But because barricades are gone now, there's no point in having flying calves. Just have normal calves. Like, let's say if you do this, right? If you make the Elk Riders melee, then this is a no-brainer. You need to completely rework the flying calves into archers. No-brainer. If anyone is trying to argue against this, you do not play COD. I am sorry. You either don't play COD or you're just a cav main who enjoys having infinite calves. And guess what? Let's be real now. That's not most of the community. That's not how most people play Spring Wardens. Well, actually, it's probably how most people play Spring Wardens now because like it's the only option you have. Because I'll explain it like this so it makes a lot more sense. Every faction has 3 ranged units besides Spring Wardens. And not only that, the other 2 factions that have 3 ranged units are all better in every category comparing to Spring Wardens, archers, and mages. Spring Warden mages, they give you defense, which is not that good unless if it's for a tank. Archers, you get 5% physical attack while also losing 3% march speed. And guess what Spring Warden's whole faction buff is? 5% march speed and 5% healing speed. The healing speed is great. It is amazing, but that's it. That's the only reason you should be even playing Spring Wardens, is for the 5% healing speed at this point. It is boring. In my personal opinion, it is boring. That's how bad the Spring Warden archers are. As an archer main, I swapped to 𝗲𝗄𝗏 just now, as you see, and I'm having a lot more fun. So when we talk about this from a balancing point, you need to, instead of looking at the Elk Riders, look at the Spring Warden faction altogether. Because currently that faction is useless. It is, if you are using it and you are not a high spender, you are free merits. You are genuinely free merits in any KVK in this current season. You are free merits. Because you have to think about it. Everyone fights in balls. Ball fights. I've never seen just a random cav fight. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen that? We did it one time to EIS as a joke. It only worked one time. That is how hard it is to balance a faction that has double calves. Just, if you just make it archers, it would solve Spring Warden's faction so much that it would actually be a thought to play Spring Wardens as a PvP faction. As of right now, the faction is only good for merit farming. So if you want to be a merit farmer and you want multiple cav marches without having to spend that much, sure, be Spring Wardens. But if you want to be a cav main and merit farm anyways, and you have the money, just do 𝗲𝗏𝗏 or the humans and just train a lot of calves. That's it. The only reason you should be Spring Warden is if you're a new player and you don't really want to spend money to train multiple calves. So you train a lot of flyers and a lot of calves without having to use speed ups. You basically get double the amount without having to spend money. It's the only reason you play calves on Spring Warden. And I'm going to be honest, I couldn't care for Elk Riders because it just doesn't make sense to make them ranged. Or, I mean melee. Because there's literally an elf girl on the cav with a bow. Why would you make that melee? You're going to give her a spear? I mean, if you do that, then she better have the highest cav damage. But, I don't know, man. I would say personally, if you want to make that faction actually good and worth playing at the higher levels of gaming, completely scrap the flying calves and make them flying archers to compete against Celestials, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, because 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 will straight, I'm being dead serious, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 slaughters Spring Warden completely in every category. In every category you can imagine, they just beat them. They're just better. The only reason the human faction you can even say is better than 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 is because of their mages. Mages and human faction are overpowered. And the range. The range difference you get is why human faction can even compete against 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏. But if you say human faction versus Spring Wardens, not even close. Not even close. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, have fun. It's not going to work out. I feel like the Spring Warden faction is more of a support faction than it is a PvP faction. And when you can't really support in this game, like, I can understand if they made it to where, like, playing Spring Wardens allowed you to heal your own teammates a lot more often. Yeah, that would be insane, but it doesn't. It just gives you more defense. That's it. You give 4 marches defense. It's not really a support faction, but it plays like one, but that's it. So I'm gonna be honest, like, this Q&A for Spring Wardens was disappointing in my opinion, just because it's like, I want to play Spring Wardens, but you're kind of forcing me not to. And I don't know, I'm hoping in the future Q&As they talk about adding flying archers for Spring Wardens and getting rid of the calves, because I feel like calves have completely lost their identity, just completely. Flying calves, let me specify, flying calves have lost their identity completely. There is no point in being Spring Wardens if you are past the barricade phase. I don't believe they have barricades anymore in the new seasons. If they do, sure, play Spring Wardens for the first season. Second season, drop them. Just drop them. It is not worth it. But that's going to be it for this Q&A. Let me know what you guys think about my opinion on this and these changes that they're adding. I feel like the only good changes they're adding is the Alliance calendar, because it's just more like Discord, and the anti-cheat system, which definitely needs an improvement, because I honestly feel like blue stacks should be investigated a lot more to where you can't use certain features, but that'd be really hard. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you could though, if you did, you will like, subscribe, and share, and peace out.